Hello and welcome to the hole fly-throughs for the Up Vic Creek Disc Golf Tournament, which will be played on June 9th at Taylor Reserve and Sir James Mitchell Park on the Swan River. I'm Jason McCormick. I'll be taking you through the holes for the blue and the gold layout in this video, and I'm also your tournament director. Shout out to Sunset Coast Disc Golf Club who are putting on the event. We're pretty excited to be playing at Taylor Reserve for what I believe might be the first PDGA sanctioned event ever at this course. Yeah, should be a good one. Stick around and I'll talk you through the holes. Hole 1, 99 metres, par 3. Same for the blue and the gold layout. We'll see coming up on the left shortly, there's a driveway. From that driveway, we're going to have a line of OB that follows the mulch down the left-hand side of the fairway until we get to the basket where it will bubble out, just to make it a little bit safer around the green for our players, and then the flags will cut back to the copper logs on the side of the road. Hole 2, par 3, 98 metres, just that 1 metre shorter. No OB to worry about on this one, except for the bollards on the left, and if you go really long and get through the trees, you can go OB long as well. Same hole for blue and the gold, which will be a common theme for the first few holes of the course, and then we'll see quite a few differences on the back end of the course. Hole 3, par 3, 82 metres. Once again, same for the blue and the gold layout. We've got a tight gap off the tree here, looking to throw a straight shot, maybe something a little bit flippy that will just sit up and ride straight. Not much OB to worry about, but I suppose it is possible. If you hit a tree, you could kick left and go OB outside those logs. As we get to the green here, it's fairly open. It's mostly just those first trees that you got to miss. And if you get through that, you should give yourself a look. Hole 4, par 3. Like most holes on this course, I think we've got 3 par 4s later on. This one's 87 metres. A few different options here. Bit of a low ceiling shot, although if you go a backhand turnover or a sidearm flex, you'd give yourself a bit more space. You're basically trying to miss these trees, just like we see the drone doing here, only just. Coming into the green that's guarded by these couple of low-hanging trees at the front. There is also a backdoor hyzer as well, which can get you there. As we approach the green, just watch out for these little angry willy wagtails. They were pretty protective and even took on the drone. Hole 5, par 3, 69 metres. Same for the blue and the gold, but we're going to have a Mando on this hole. It's going to be right on that right-hand tree, so keeping left of the furthest tree to the right off the tee, just to protect the tee pad of hole 7, which is coming up soon. Quite a few options here. You can go the straight gap, there's a hyzer gap, and there's also a sidearm or a lefty backhand line down the left side as well. Hole 6, the first of the big changes on the course. This is normally a par 4 on the normal layout, but it's been split into 2. And we're going to be playing a par 3, 102 metres for the golds, 80 metres for the blues, and you'll see the flags here as we fly over them now. Basically going straight up the gap that you would normally try and hit for the par 4. And then in the last 2 trees is where you'll find temp basket. Quite a low ceiling shot off the tee, difficult to get all the way there, but not impossible, as we see some galahs taking on the drone as well. Seems like the birds have got it in for the drone. Hopefully we make it through. Hole 7, par 3, 65 metres, plays the same for blue and gold. We're going to be throwing from the mulch on the right hand side of that normal hole 6 par 4 fairway, out under these trees to the normal hole 6 basket. A bit of a low ceiling shot, but you want to throw something fast and skippy and you should be able to get there. Not too sure what's going on with the drone there. I think I found a weird setting, which I quickly figured out didn't make it fly better. You can see wide open green here, so most of the challenge is just keeping that tee shot down and getting enough power on it to get out to the basket. Hole 8 is the normal hole 7 from the regular layout. Golds are playing from the concrete tee pad, where the blues will be off to the left. You should see the flags there now. About 180 metres for the golds, 163 for the blues, and that blue tee pad's positioned straight in line with this big tree that we can see in the middle of the screen now. So you've got to make a decision if you're going left or right of it to get through to access the green. Pretty fun hole, this one. Most of the danger's off the tee. It's about getting through that first stand of trees and putting yourself in a position where you have a decent shot at the basket to try and get the 3. As we watch the drone make its way into the green here, just want to put a call out for some hole sponsors for the tournament. We've gone with a nautical theme for the event, up Vic Creek, as it's set on the Swan River, and we're going to be giving our sponsors the opportunity to name the hole that they sponsor. So looking for some fun names that might give the players a bit of a laugh. We've got hole 5 already, will be Bodie McBoatface, named by Boat McQuaid. Hole 9, par 3, 88 metres. I messed up the drone recording here, so all we're going to see is the view from the tee pad. We're playing from next to regular tee pad 8 to regular basket number 9. Bit of a sidearm or a backhand turnover will get you there. And onto the back 9 of this layout is regular hole 8, par 3, 68 metres. You've got this low straight gap that the drone's going to take, otherwise there's a lefty backhand line or a righty backhand line as well, both looking for that really low high speed driver skip shot. The right hand line is a little bit more forgiving. Left hand you have to get a long way back, but it is possible. Once you get into this green, you'd rather be long than short. If you come up a little bit short, you might be struggling to have a ceiling to get your putt to the basket, so rather push something a bit further and have a comeback putt than leaving it short. Hole 11, and it looks exactly like the hole before, but I promise you we're on the other side of the car park now. This is our first hole in Sir James Mitchell Park in the city of South Perth. We're playing down this fairway under these trees here. There is a line to the left of the trees where that bench is. That bench isn't permanent, so we'll be able to move it for the tournament day. Par 3, 70 metres, but it plays a little bit further because of that low ceiling. But once you get through all those trees, we get out into this grassy area, and if you can get your disc through there, you should get a nice forward skip onto this green. We've got OB on the right, as we can see that footpath, and OB past those bollards on the left as well. Hole 12, par 4, the second of our 3 par 4s, 206 metres for the golds, 165 for the blues. This gum on the left here is going to be a mandatory to the right of that, just to keep discs off the road. The drop zone will be right here where that blue tee pad is, and you can also see this path coming up ahead of us, as well as another path on the right. This path that we're flying over now will be a river of OB, while the path on the right, anything on or over that, is out of bounds, as that will be back in hole 11's fairway and green. You've got 2 options here as you come into the green. You can go to the left of this stand of trees, or you can go to the right. You'll be trying to get your driver out of the gap. and set yourself up for your preferred approach, whether that's a big backhand spike hyzer or a bomber forehand down the left side. These trees kind of look small in the drone, but they're actually quite tall and quite large, so it takes a fair bit of effort to get around them or over them, as we just catch the city coming into frame in the background of the green. And on to hole 13, quite a wide open hole. The challenge here is getting into the green, keeping your drive low enough to beat the trees as we come in. We see the blue tee pad on the right there now, about 20 meters difference between the gold and the blue. The basket's tucked behind this big tree here, so the sidearm route is a little bit more open, the backhand slightly lower ceiling, and you probably want something that's going to come in with a bit of speed and be able to skip to the green to give yourself a good look for birdie. Onto hole 14, the final par 4 on the course. 204 meters for the gold, 169 for the blues, as we see that tee now. We're going to have a double mando on this hole. Right of this first tree on the left, and then left of the first tree on the right. So between these two stands of trees where the drone's flying now. Then you'll see in front of us here that railing, that's the start of a drainage creek. So anything in or over that creek will be OB as well, before we finally come to this little grove here with the basket tucked just behind this first paper bark on the left. It's perched on the hill there, so you don't want to come in too hot, or you could stand up and roll into that water and take a penalty stroke. Onto hole 15, as we see my spray paint there. I've marked all the tee pads and basket locations, so if you want to get out and practice it, you should be able to find your way around easily enough using the spray paint and U-disc. This is an 82 meter par 3, same hole for both layouts. It's playing back into that same lot of trees as the previous hole, with the creek in the background. As we see a little peewee taken off there into the tree. Birds everywhere while I was filming this. And same thing here, don't push too long or you'll be pushing that OB in the water there. This is hole 16 gold. We'll have a look at the blue after this fly through. 105 meters par 3. We're going to have a mandatory to the right of this first tree here, just to keep discs away from this bicycle shelter on the left. Still is room for a forehand, so if that's your go, there's some space for it there. Got a couple of trees to beat off the tee, couple of trees to beat halfway down the fairway before we come into this green, which is guarded on the right by this little grove of paper barks. And this is the blue hole, hole 16, 78 meters. This tee pad's off about 15 meters to the right of the gold tee pad. Not too much to worry about at the start, but we do have this gap to hit about 2/3 of the way down the fairway. Pretty reminiscent of some of those shorter pitch and putt courses like Chichester or Dick Lawrence. So if you're good at them, this will be a fun hole for you. Nice straight shot. Alright, on to hole 17. Par 3, 90 meters for the golds, 70 meters for the blues. It's about a 250 meter walk between hole 16 and 17 as we make our way back to Taylor Reserve. No trees or anything to worry about here, but you will have an island green, and if you miss that island, it plays as hazard. The island will be about 13 meter radius around the basket, so nice and generous, but still got to stick that landing. And finally onto hole 18, we're playing from regular hole 9's tee. Mandatory right of this first tree here on the left, just to keep discs away from that cycle path. You have to excuse my drone fly through, I should say drone walkthrough. I was out of battery, so I had to carry the drone just to get this final hole done. 74 meters, same hole for both blue and gold, and you can either throw a backhand flip up hyzer straight at it, or if you've got the shank and flex, as Zach Melton would say, there's a nice forehand line for it as well. As we see the baskets just positioned off to the right here of that tree with the rock bed around it, and Gabby looking after the basket for me while I do this walkthrough. And you can see on the right there, that is regular hole 9's basket, which we're playing to earlier in the layout. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully those fly-throughs have given you a bit of a taste of what to expect from this course. Both layouts, the blue and the gold, are mapped on UDisc, and all the tee pads and temporary basket locations are marked with blue spray paint. If you want to see any OB and hole notes, they're on the event website. If you haven't signed up for the tournament yet, jump on there and do that as well. If you've got any questions or feedback, feel free to let me know in the comments below or flick me a message on Facebook.